What's up everyone, and especially for anyone who is watching this video on YouTube, I am back with another video for you guys today. And today we're going to be really diving deep into the topic of relationships, particularly for the main reason that men cheat, or why certain men actually cheat too, if you want to elaborate on that, by Teal Swan. And despite how you feel about Teal Swan, if you love her content or if you don't like her content, that's totally fine. You guys are entitled to your perspective and your opinions about her too. And when it comes to with the topic of relationships, it could be like with acquaintances, friendships, and intimate and romantic relationships too. This video is definitely for anybody who's passionate about that particular kind of topic too. So when it comes to with this particular video that we're going to react to as well, and just like really watching this for the first time or for the second time, for the third time, however times that you want to watch this reaction video, especially the, why certain men cheat too in their relationships, and especially when it comes to with that. And with that particular topic, we're going to be diving deep into that. And I've probably said this over and over again. So without further ado, and not wasting anybody's time just with me blabbling on, let's get into the video too and react to it. I'm going to share my own perspective and experience about my own relationships with acquaintances and friendships and intimate and romantic relationships, not only from a personal perspective, but also as a relationship life coach perspective as well. So without further ado, let's get this party started. So here we go.
It isn't very popular to talk about why people cheat. Suggesting that a person has a reason to do it basically makes people feel like the blame is shifting from the person who cheated to the person who was cheated on. Nevertheless, for the sake of conscious awareness, it is important to accept that people do have reasons for doing the things that they do, and this includes cheating. While there are a variety of reasons why a person might cheat on their partner, there is one glaring primary reason that men cheat, and there is one glaring primary reason that women cheat, and it isn't the same. In today's episode, I'm going to reveal to you the main reason that men cheat.
Okay, good stuff. Let's hear it.
The main reason that men cheat is insecurity. It happens when a man is experiencing low self-esteem and a diminished sense of self-worth, especially within the context of his current relationship. Men use cheating as a way to seek validation for their worth and in order to feel more needed, valuable, and desirable.
That's a fair point. When it comes to with why certain men cheat, like when it comes to with insecurity, that could be a factor too. And also, just me saying this from, my own personal perspective, and just like from what I've experienced and for what other people told me too, and just watching content. And this is just my opinion. You guys could totally disagree. And when it comes to with why certain men cheat, is probably just because of a lack of this certain desires that are. It's probably a lack of this certain desires that they're lacking in life too, if that makes sense. Or what's a good way to sum it up? So it's kind of like a lack of desires in their lives too, especially when it comes to certain things. It could be like from finances, it could be about sex, it could be about anything too when it comes to certain men, why they choose to really just cheat on their partner or just cheat in general. It could when it comes to with anything in life. And just like taking the shortcut, when it comes to with that. And, and it's just, when it comes to the topic of cheating, it's really controversial because, we can't just categorize, like one person or gender when it comes to cheating because, many people do it. I'm not trying to making it justify it or make an excuse when it comes to why certain people cheat. It's just like when it comes to with this particular topic, when it comes to why certain men cheat, it's kind of like when it comes to the lack of desires in their lives too, that they're just really seeking out. It could be from like finances, it could be about sex, it could be about any kind of particular thing too. And when it comes to with that, if like a man is just lacking something in their lives too, and really just kind of really just feels insecure about it, which really ironically I just kind of proved Teal's point with that. They really just feel a certain way. So when it comes to with being insecure about something, when it comes to with like not having the best car or the best house or the fine looking woman or man or anything like that too. It could really just be that factor when it comes to insecurity, and that, you know, like I say, like a lack of desire or unwanted, unmet needs, basically too. So yeah, that could be it. You guys could totally, disagree with what I've had to say when it comes to with this reaction video. And let's continue so far. So let's hear out.
When a man feels inadequate or feels like he's not living up to his partner's expectations, cheating can be a way that he experiences someone appreciating and admiring him. Men are particularly sensitive to being pushed away. When a person is pushed away, they usually take it personally. And when a person takes being pushed away personally, they feel bad about themselves. That's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to being pushed away, and nobody likes being pushed away, men or women particularly, but with men, if their partner, or even just like in friendships or acquaintances, if they're pushed away, they kind of feel a certain way about it. It attacks our pride when it comes to being pushed away or being ostracized in our, I should say, what's the word for it too? With our peers, basically, too. And it's just like when we're ostracized or cast out, basically, too, if you want to be biblical about it, too, or just putting it in the spiritual terms, it's just like, it just sucks. It really fucking sucks. And when it comes to with that and saying that, in a really straightforward way, sorry for my vulgar kind of uh, language here, too. I'm just going to keep it real. It's just like, people who push certain men away, and especially pushing men away too, and especially for a certain reason, it really just attacks our pride too. And it's, when it comes to with relationships, it's like a double-edged sword, because you never know what people are going through. Maybe that person is, going through a tough time, or it could be anything too. You never know with life. Life is so unpredictable and unique and crazy and weird at the same time. So when it comes to with that, and especially why certain people push people away, particularly when it comes to men, it could be for a certain reason. So when it comes to with that, and when men are pushed to, when it comes to being pushed away and not being respected or appreciated, they will, and even if they experience it for like certain periods of time, they'll probably just seek that somewhere else, which is unfortunate. So yeah, that's pretty much my perspective about that too, but I'll talk more about that too at the end of this video too. So I'm gonna let Teal Swan talk and let her continue the video.
They feel inadequate and therefore uncertain about everything. For example, uncertain about their own abilities and competence, uncertain about their capacity to handle situations, uncertain about their own value, uncertain about their relationships, and therefore totally insecure in those relationships, uncertain about their future, and the list goes on and on. They feel out of control. Their confidence goes away when this happens. They feel diminished. This is a horrible experience for anyone, but for the masculine, it's a true hell on earth. It disconnects them from a sense of their own power. So, a man may seek out another person, such as another woman, as a kind of way of gaining that control back.
And I'm not justifying cheating when it comes to with that. And, cheating is like a form of betrayal, because it's like you're going someone behind someone's back to really just seeking a desire that you're lacking in your life too. And it's just unfortunate that if anyone has been cheated on too, especially for anyone who's watched this video, my heart goes out to you. And not trying to, to really just, saying that disrespectfully. I'm just really mean that from a genuine place of sincerity, because it's not easy. I've been cheated on too a couple of times, and it's not easy, and it hurts. But like when it comes to with that, and it's really good to really just, be mindful of what we do, especially for men who are in a place where like your partner is just really being neglectful of you, and you just like, you want to just really seek that somewhere else too. I get that, because, when it comes to being pushed away by someone that, that you think and you feel that is just going to support you and you support them, and it's they just push you away, it's just it hurts. But when it comes to it, just really being mindful of what you're doing, and just like if you want to just hook up with someone else, I mean, that could really just add fuel to the fire when it comes to it. Just like maybe I should just hook up with her and forget my other partner or girlfriend or wife, and it's like that's not right. You don't want to like be the person that wants to hook up with somebody just because your wife is neglecting you like that, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or anything like that too. And this is where like communication comes in when it comes to just really talking out certain issues that are really just affecting you in your relationships. It could be like from anything: finances, sex, intimacy, time, whatever that that's the issue when it comes to with like certain issues that's happening in your guys' relationships. And really just having like a communication, and really just uh, finding ways to communicate that's just very genuine and straightforward to anybody involved, everybody involved too, especially when it comes to with a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, husband, etc. too. Even if it's like in pairs too, because people, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it a buck here too. Most people like a lot of things nowadays too. There are people who are swingers out there, for those who are in the lifestyle. There's people who are not into the swinger lifestyle or the open relationship lifestyle, and they just want to keep things simple. But they love to have fun, have sex, to make money, make content, whatever that floats their boat when it comes to their certain desires and goals. And just like when it comes to with cheating, they don't even like that either. So it's kind of like when it comes to just really finding ways to communicate, and to really just communicate certain issues that are really just affecting your guys' relationships. Even if it's just like with a friendship too, or an acquaintance, just really finding ways and a time for both of you guys to really just find ways to communicate, these kind of problems. And if they don't, then it's just, it's really, you gotta just really take action to really just, sever that tie. But when it comes to with that, that could really just be the most difficult thing you could do, because you never know, like if you have kids with somebody who, when it comes to with the, if they're an intimate partner, or if they're someone that you're working with, or if it's with a friendship too that you really just feel like a strong connection with, it can really just be difficult to really just sever that tie. So, but should I say like not difficult, and we say, or should I say it's it's difficult but not impossible, basically. So sorry for my words are kind of going all over the place, but I'm really just trying to articulate when it comes to what I'm about to say and expressing myself. So yeah, my apologies on that. And I'm not trying to like beat myself up about it too. I'm just really, realizing what I'm saying and articulating that too. So anyways, let's get back into the video, and yeah, let's go.
This insecurity spiral. With the other person, they experience the validation that they have value, that they are desirable, attractive, adequate, capable, competent, admired, wanted, and needed. All of this increases their confidence and sense of power. Men who cheat as a tonic for their insecurity will choose to cheat with other people, like other women, who best provide this emotional experience for them. This is actually why a lot of times men who cheat because of insecurity will cheat down, if you've ever heard that expression. It means they go for somebody who you would think is less of a catch than their partner they already have. What they'll do is they'll go for a person who pulls them in and makes them feel good about themselves. When you hear this about men, it's tempting to feel like you have to tiptoe around their ego or else you're going to be cheated on.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like when it comes to with men, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm just really gonna keep it a buck when it comes to with men's human nature. It's just like when certain people appeal to our ego or our masculinity, it's like an aphrodisiac. It's kind of like a drug per se too. It's like a strong dopamine kind of hit. It's like, someone gives us praise, even if we don't feel used to it, deep down, we might just, feel really good about ourselves too, especially people who want to support us, if they want to just connect with us in a really interesting way. It could be intimate or otherwise. And it's just like for anybody who appeals to a man's ego, or should I say his pride too, basically, and just really worships the ground that he's just walking on, basically. And it can really just sound weird and really predatory, but when it comes to with that, that's just pretty much the truth of it. Just because, I'm a man, of course, too, and especially for anyone who's watching this video. I mean, it's just, I'm not the kind of person that looks for praise all the time too. It's like for me, it's what you see is what you get. If you guys don't like me, that's cool. If you guys do, that's cool too. I'm just really neutral about myself too, but I can't speak for all men because we're all different, just like how most women are different and other people in general are different too when it comes to human beings on this planet. So when it comes to with just, what Teal Swan said, it kind of really hits home in a really certain degree, just because like if someone, especially if like, for a man or a woman per se too, when it comes to with heterosexuality, and like someone who really just worships us and appreciates us and thinks we're the best and, think we can really just, we're Hercules or we're Superman, or if we're Goku, if we're Kenshiro, if we're Baki, and if we're any kind of like protagonist in their perspective, and they just want to support us however they can and just really appeal to our ego and our pride. That's like an aphrodisiac hit to a lot of men. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit here too. So when it comes to with that, it's like a aphrodisiac dopamine hit when it comes to with certain people who really just appeal to our ego and our pride. And especially when it comes to women, because, in a man's perspective, most, we like women in a certain way, like when it comes to like how they, not only how they look, but also how they speak, how they treat people, how they, view things when it comes to with their values, with life, with other people, with their environment, etc. Men like particular things about certain people, especially when it comes to with the same sex or the opposite sex in particular too. It's just like, yeah, I mean, you'll really just feel like a strong attachment for them too. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'll explain more about that too when it comes to at the end of the video. So let's continue.
That's not the takeaway. A man can take negative feedback, provided that he also feels the opposite of that negative feedback in the relationship.
Some men.
Essentially, that you pull him in, that you value him, want him, need him, and appreciate him.
That's exactly what I was saying.
What people, especially women, really need to accept about men is that men need to feel needed, wanted, and valued for who
that's pretty much what I was talking about. Yeah, and there you go.
They are and what they do. They need to have a place in your life and to derive a sense of self-esteem from being in that place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something that leads to that sense of self-esteem is to actually be esteemed by you for being in that place in your life. When you are in a relationship with a man, you have got to make space in your life for him to have a place in your life. He needs.
That's a good point too, and especially vice versa for men who want to be in women's lives too. You gotta allow this for them to really just have a place in your life too, and especially whether you're a man or a woman too. It's just like when it comes to with relationships, it's really good to really just, if you want people to really just be in your lives, just allow them to really just do that for you too, especially if they're a friend of yours, if they're an acquaintance, if it's intimate and romantic as well. Just really doing that in an ethical, genuine, and healthy way, of course. It's just like really allowing them to really just, prove themselves to you that they want to be in your life, and vice versa, to where you guys can really just continue to really just make the connection stronger, basically too. So when it comes to with that, and really just, allowing ourselves to really just prove, not only to prove to ourselves, but also to prove to them that we want them in our lives too. And we really just, support each other along the way too, and supporting each other. So yeah, that's, pretty much what Teal said is it's really good. Yeah, I like that. And but because if you push people away and if you just really, discard them, or if you disrespect them, or any kind of way too, if you push people away for any kind of reason too, if it's like a misunderstanding, I get that. And if you communicate that too and you want to just have them in your lives, then that's all right. At least you want to really just have them in your lives. But when it comes to with like certain people who push people away and just like doing that in a really unhealthy way, then that can really just damage the connection between that person and yourself too. So it's something to really just consider when it comes to with relationships. But you know what? As a relationship coach, and I'm just barely new to this field too, who am I to say too? Because I'm a single dude and I have a lot of friendships with the opposite sex and with the same sex too. And I have experience when it comes to a certain girlfriends I had in my life too. So it's kind of like, I really kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to this experience. And, I always like to really just be relatable to people and to really just, share a perspective. Even if I'm wrong about something, just feel free to share it. And, yeah. So, anyways, let's continue.
Needs to be pulled in by you. He needs to feel as if you need him, as if you want him, as if you value him. This makes a man feel connected and committed to you. If you want to learn more about this, by the way, you can watch my video that is titled What Every Woman Should Know About Men.
Okay.
Some examples of things that are antidotes to insecurity for a man are giving him direct positive feedback, fully taking in and receiving his physical affection, fully taking in and receiving what he gives to you or does for you, showing with your reactions to him and your body language that what he's doing has a positive effect on you, flirting with him, accepting his help, reflecting to him what his role in your life is and how much you value what he does for you in this role, complimenting him in front of others, asking him for his opinion, listening to his feelings and thoughts with the attitude that you see them as important, encouraging his being in power rather than turning against it, giving him admiration for his masculine traits.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying too, like earlier in the video, just really, people appeal to our ego and masculinity. But in a ways, we should really just do that, especially if you want like certain men in your life too, to really just understand them from an ethical and genuine and healthy place of curiosity too, to where you want to establish that connection. And it's just like with certain men in your lives too, especially for anyone who's just wanting like tips to how to really just keep certain men in their lives too, who are really just awesome people. And it's just really, understand them and really just understand them from an ethical and genuine and healthy place of curiosity, to where you can really just establish and maintain that connection too. So when it comes to with that, it's like, not only like giving compliments, but also to really just, supporting his goals and his dreams, his values, his perspective, and just really doing that from a healthy place, especially from an ethical and genuine and healthy place of curiosity too, especially for the opposite sex and for any women out there who are listening to this video too. This advice can really just be helpful for you too, because, I had people just really asking for advice about certain things, and I always tell them the, similar things that I just shared right now, and just really just trying to understand somebody, to really just get to know them, what their values are too. Even if you guys disagree, you can really just come to like a middle ground to like, okay, I get what this person's saying. Let's, I still want them in my lives. Let's continue to really just establish that connection basically. So that's something you can really just to, experiment and to really just have fun with too, when it comes to just maintaining that connection and just really, going going from there too, basically. So my apologies for the, instant kind of stops too. My mind goes fast, but my words come out slow, basically. It's like, what the hell is going on here? So anyways, let's continue.
Trusting him in his methods or ways, if he is trustworthy, that is.
Trust is a big thing in relationships. Definitely, 100%.
Acknowledging and drawing attention to his areas of competence, respecting his time, telling him where you are confident in him.
Sorry for the background
It's
noise
just a
if you
little
hear that,
taste of
guys.
some of the things that makes a man feel really good within a relationship. That's the opposite of insecurity within that relationship. As a man, when you are feeling the impulse to cheat based off of feeling insecurity, I want you to stop and realize that what you are going for is self-esteem via the other person. Think about the fact that even though cheating with someone may give you some of these feelings that you're needing, they come at the price of self-esteem as well.
And it also too comes at a price of that connection just being destroyed. And it's kind of like cheating is like a form of betrayal. It's like you're going behind someone's back for unwanted desire that you're lacking of too, especially for the men out there who are listening too. It's just like, I know sometimes people can really just be difficult and, just, weird in their own ways, basically. Not in trying to say that in a disrespectful way, but just really being straightforward and genuine about that. It's just like if you have that kind of desire to cheat, then it's really good to not like, indulge in that, because it's just like the more you cheat on somebody too, it really just makes things a whole lot worse, especially when it comes to that connection with somebody too. And just like really having ways to really just communicate what's the actual problem there. And if you guys are willing to really just work on that and to really just work on that too in ways that you can really just, maintaining that connection, that relationship. There's like going to couples therapy or even just like exploring other activities and other practices that can help you to enhance your guys' relationships too. And especially when it comes to with the intimacy and romantic relationships, this also could be applied to like acquaintances and friendships, but they all operate in a different level too, because it's like acquaintances, it's like business, like people you work with or people that that you connect with, that you work with when it comes to with a certain job that you work with too. And with friendships, it can really just be like, okay, it's, your friendships, people you hang out with, that you go to the movies, go to arcades, or even just like go to like parties sometimes too. But with intimacy and relationships, because it's like a deeper kind of connection, it's kind of like a friendship like over 9,000 basically on a whole nother level too. I could be wrong, but that's pretty much what my perspective about that too. So when it comes to with that, and for anybody who just has that kind of desire to cheat, just really all I can say is just, I'm not like excusing it. It's just, it's not right. I encourage people not to cheat. But when it comes to with that, I'll just say this, if people have the desire to cheat, you're gonna fuck around and find out, because that betrayal really just hurts somebody too when it comes to with their emotions and with their mental state too. And it's just like, people who want to just cheat just because they're lacking a certain desire in their lives too, in their relationship. Things gonna get messy. I'll just say that. And it's just messed up. Like nobody comes out with being cheated on to, unscathed too, especially the person who's cheating on somebody and vice versa too. I mean, who's to say? I could be totally wrong about cheating, but when it comes to with that and that form of betrayal, it's just like going behind someone's back and just, for any kind of reason when it comes to it, that this unfulfilled desire and just really seeking someone else to really just fill that role. That really just, hurts that other person that you're cheating on with too. And it's just messed up and it's not right. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to say about cheating too. Because, who am I to say about relationships? I'm just, I've been single for a long time. So it's like, I'm the last person to say about relationships, but I did have experience with girlfriends before too. And, just really being cheated on, it's not the easiest place to be. It sucks. So it's like, man, this really, being cheated on is the worst feeling in the world. It's like, wow, why would they cheat on me? Like when it comes to with that. So, it sucks. But anyways, let's get back to this video and let's finish this up.
Can you truly feel good about yourself if you betray someone and by doing so lose trust and respect in yourself and see
Yeah.
yourself as bad and wrong and hurtful and immoral. Because if you have agreed to a monogamous relationship and you cheat, this is how you are going to feel about yourself.
Facts. Yeah. And especially when it comes to if you're in a monogamous relationship and you feel like you have like a lack of sexual pleasure in your relationships for any kind of reason, any situation that you're going through with your partner, and you really just find another person to fill that role when it comes to that unfulfilled desire, that's gonna, that's gonna mess up the connection that you have, that the person that you're cheating on with, like, messier. It's like, and it really just says a lot about the person who's just really doing the cheating, and it's just messed up. It's like they have that unfulfilled desire and they feel really insecure about it, which, as Teal Swan has just said too earlier in this video. And it's just, yeah, it's just messed up. And because even with today's times too, like people who are into, certain sexual practices or into certain alternative lifestyles, or especially people who want to, with the hookup culture too, like people who want to just, with their partner, just really being open and communicate about, like, people want to hook up with other people and they want to watch too. And I'm not trying to get vulgar by it, but this is the actual truth, especially in the lifestyle, because I've been experimenting that since 2009. And I heard some stories about how most couples, they love to see their partner with another woman, with another man, particularly if it's like a black man too, or other men as well, or just like a man or a woman, and really just enhance it to their relationships to where they can really just experience more intimacy and pleasure in their lives too. But the way that they do that is just like they communicate about it too. They don't go behind someone's back or anything like that too. So when it comes to with people who are monogamous and they just really seeking someone else for their sexual pleasure and unfulfilled desires with that too, it just says a lot. And it's like, it's messed up, and it makes the person feel insecure when it comes to the person that they're cheating on with, and vice versa. And just really, if people want to just avoid those kind of problems, just really, finding ways to really just solve those problems and communicate that too in a healthy way, and really just taking action with that too. So that's just my perspective on it too, because I love talking about relationships. And it's just, relationships are like their relationships are life, basically too. So when it comes to with that, and I'll let Teal Swan finish, but I always have something to say. So let's get back to the video.
The alternative is to work directly on your insecurities and self-esteem so that you become confident and have a higher self-esteem. The alternative is also to directly address the issues in your relationship, including...
Yes, exactly. I was saying, address those issues. That's where communication comes in, to where you can really just address those issues in your relationship if you guys want to just really work on that too, especially when it comes to in intimate romantic relationships, or even just like with the friendships too, in a different way, or acquaintance connection too. It's just like finding ways to address those issues in a really ethical and genuine and healthy way. You can really just put people to really just listen to each other and to communicate and to really just take action to resolve those issues. Can really just be helpful to really just maintaining those connections. But if people don't want to do that, they want to just go behind people's back and just cheat on them, betray them in some kind of way, then it's kind of, relationships are going to be messy for them too, either or. So yeah, what Teal Swan said is spot on, 100%.
The fact that in this relationship you feel unloved and or rejected and or undervalued and or unwanted and or not respected and or emasculated by her and or potentially even worthless in her eyes. What you are looking to co-create is a relationship where you feel esteemed in the relationship. Some of this involves you doing what would get you that esteem from your partner, i.e. earning their high regard. And some of this involves them actively and consciously speaking and acting in ways that show you that they do hold you in high esteem, that they do want and need and value you. If fidelity is something that you want, one way to be empowered about it, rather than just leaving it up to the other person to be faithful no matter what, is making sure that the man in your life knows and feels that you need, want, and value him. For this reason,
I'm not sure with that. I agree to what Teal Swan said about infidelity because, again, people who are into like certain lifestyles, who are swingers, who are in open relationships or anything like that, they are really open to really just like, hey, if you ever want to just hook up with somebody else, just really talk to me about that, and vice versa, to where you guys can really just have like an understanding to where there's no problems when it comes to with just, with those particular desires and goals that you have too, and just really, taking action from there too. But like when it comes to with infidelity and just like, you know, me personally, that doesn't sit right with me too, because it's like, infidelity. It's like, nah, I'm not gonna. Me personally, if I had like a beautiful, like partner, like Teal, similar to Teal Swan or something too, and if I go behind like her back and just really, with when it comes to with the unfulfilled desires that I have in my life too, I'll feel like a shitty ass motherfucker. I'll be like a total dog. I'll be a total pig, a total asshole, and just really, I really feel shitty about myself too when it comes to with just like, going behind someone's back who's beautiful in your own way and I value them, but I'm just really seeking the other person for that lack of unfulfilled desire. It's like, fuck, man, I feel like a piece of shit for just like cheating on my wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or etc. too. So it's like, I don't know, infidelity to me, I can't sit with that. Not just me personally, I disagree with that. So yeah, let's continue.
A powerful question to ask yourself is, how could I show him that he is needed by me, that he is wanted by me, and that he is valued by me? And then act on this answer that you receive. Have a good week.
Okay, so yeah, that's basically with the video too. And if you guys want to see the original video, I'll post a link to it in the description below if you guys want to check it out for yourselves and just really watch it for yourselves if you didn't want to listen to me yapping on and shit about my personal experience and perspective about relationships. But if you guys like my perspective and relationship advice and experience and all that too, if you guys want to share about it too in the comment section, you're more than welcome to do so, especially if you're into the topic of relationships, intimacy, sexuality, all sorts of stuff too, especially when it comes to with other forms of connections too, like with friendships and acquaintances as well. So yeah, really unique video by Teal Swan. I haven't watched her videos for a really long time because with this particular channel, it's an entertainment channel, but we talk about different topics from anime to mental health to mindfulness to somatic healing to yoga to essential oils, plant medicine, all sorts of stuff too when it comes to with entertainment, relationships, and wellness too. So again, that's pretty much the foundations of this channel is too: entertainment, relationships, wellness. The three pillars, basically, if you want to call it that too. So metaphorically, of course. So again, I thank you guys for watching. Much love to all you guys who are new to this channel. For those who are been subscribers and supporters of mine since day one, I appreciate you. I respect you, and I hope you guys are having an awesome, beautiful weekend. Hope you guys are pursuing your desires and your goals, and you're not hurting people, and you're just really, maintaining those healthy connections with people who appreciate you. They you appreciate them, and maintaining that as well too when it comes to those connections and all that as well. So that's pretty much it what I'm about to say. You guys take care. Have an awesome weekend, awesome day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, wherever you guys are in the world. And I will see you guys around in the social media streets. So you guys take care and many blessings.